What's up, you guys? Happy Warm-Up Wednesday. Lucky you, you got both of us.
What's up, team?
All right, so we are wrapping up the conversation around ankles and feet. Today, we're going to be talking about ankle injury. One of the most common injuries on a skateboard is that ankle injury. So we're going to be walking you through the healing process and that recovery process. All right, so first and foremost, y'all, as soon as you roll that ankle or injure that ankle, first and foremost, go see a medical professional. If you can afford it, if you have access, go do that. Just be safe that way. Now, if you don't have access, the very next thing you want to do is you want to assess your entire foot and ankle. First thing you can do, wiggle your toes. Can you wiggle those toes? All right. Second thing you want to do is, can you put any weight on that foot? Now, if you can do either of those things, that's a great sign that there's probably not any major injury. But if you cannot do either of those two or even one of those things, you definitely want to take a trip to see a doctor immediately. All right, y'all, so the first 24 hours are critical. We got to make sure first and foremost that we are icing that injury. You want to be icing that ankle 10 to 20 minutes at a time, on and off. Now, while you're icing, you want to make sure that you are resting your entire body. Now, while you're resting, you want to make sure that you're kind of searching to see, can you do any movement in that ankle? Do you have any range in either direction? If you do, make sure you are moving that ankle while you're not icing. All right, making sure while you're moving that ankle in that small range with no pain, that you are making sure you go in both directions as well. All right, so those are the most critical parts for the first 24 hours. Ice, rest, but movement. All right, so you want to make sure that you're not letting that ankle stiffen up from that swelling and whatnot.
Okay, team, after those 24 hours, you want to make sure that you're keeping up with your icing, and now you can alternate it with heat. So we know that hot and cold therapy promotes tissue healing, and it actually forces those tissues to adapt. So it's like a little mini workout just by using hot and cold therapy. So make sure that you keep icing. Now you can start to alternate it with heat. Also, if you've been using a brace, I know sometimes when we get ankle injuries, it's easy to just put a brace and put your ankle in a fixed position. Your brace can be helpful if you're out and about and your ankle is more vulnerable and you're walking around or doing things, but we don't want to become dependent on that brace. We actually want to keep movement in the area safely to help those tissues adapt. Your ankle is supposed to be a mobile joint, so we want to keep it mobile and we want to keep it moving and active to make sure that it's using its own stability to keep it safe. So points to remember after the 24 hours, keep icing, now alternate it with heat, keep up with any range of movement that feels safe and comfortable to keep your ankle mobile and strong. Now, team, in this healing process, remember, injuries like this take about 6 to 8 weeks to fully recover. So as now that we've gotten through this healing process and maybe we're getting minimal pain, we still have to strengthen our tissue back. So an injury occurred, our strength of our ankle went down to here, and now we have to rebuild that strength. So you want to make sure that you're taking specific action to rebuild that tissue. Even if there's no pain anymore, that ankle is still weak. So progressive overload over time is crucial, creating specific adaptations to strengthen and build that ankle back to where it was. It's not just going to happen on its own. Unfortunately, I wish it could, but we have to train that tissue and give it time to come back to where it was before the injury occurred.
Right, so now what we want to do is start rebuilding that tissue. That's going to start happening off the board first, y'all. So what you want to do is start doing any of the warm-ups around your ankle and feet that we've given you in the prior weeks in our warm-up Wednesdays. And what you want to do is make sure you're not feeling any pain. You want to start feeling strong. You're able to get your full range back in that ankle. Once you're feeling at that place, nice and strong, then we can start going back to that skateboard, okay? Starting off on that skateboard nice and slow. We're just going to start pushing around, maybe use your skateboard for transportation, so you can now start strengthening the stability of that ankle again. It can remember how to just hold you up on that thing. Now, once that's feeling good, you want to make sure that you have movement side to side in that ankle. If you've got that with no pain, then you can start working on your ollies, your nollies, shove-its, things like that again. All right. Now, once you've got that back, then you can start flipping that board and getting your strength back so you got that skill back.
Exactly, team. We want to make sure that we're safely stressing the ankle back to a place where it can withstand your skill level again. So we want the strength of your ankle to be able to safely progress and come up to match your skill level on the board so that you can sustain the skill level you were at before the injury. Now, a reminder from us, you still want to make sure you're not relying on a brace for too long. Braces can be beneficial at the site of injury to stabilize the ankle when it's inflamed, but if we rely on it for too long, we're actually doing our ankle a disservice. We're taking away from its natural ability to adapt, to gain stability and mobility. So training it back safely is the key rather than just locking it down in place. So remember that, just to take away with you as you're coming back to training. I know it's so easy to be like, oh, the brace is safe, but training is actually more beneficial for the tissue, and it's going to give you long-term results rather than short-term results. Another quick reminder from us, we've given you all the steps leading up from site of injury, training it back, how to take care of it. But if you do have access to a medical professional in your area or a PT to be able to properly assess you in person, go do that. These are amazing tips so that you have more education around training the tissue back, what to do at the site of injury, but really the ideal situation is you have someone actually looking at your ankle, actually looking at the injury to get a better read on what's going on. So always keep that in mind while doing these practices.
All right, y'all. So if you want to also take your ankle strength to the next level, stay tuned because we got a video coming where we're going to give you some resistance band movements that are so critical and so beneficial for you to get even stronger on that board. So stay tuned. Keep an eye out. All right, there you have it. We got phase 1. We got phase 2. We just walked through the whole process of how to assess ankle injury, how to make sure you heal, but also give yourself that space to recover off the board first, then back on that board. Now remember, both me and Jess are here for y'all. If y'all have questions about any of this, DM us directly, DM Skate Like a Girl. We would love to hear from y'all, and we want to make sure this is workable. You have access to all this information. Hit us up, let us know, all right? Now, last thing is make sure you stay tuned. We've got some awesomeness coming up. We're gonna start working our way up the body, all right? Now, if you all also have any information or things that you wanna learn more about, also DM us, let us know. Tag us at Skate Like a Girl, whatever it is, let us know, all right? All right, Jess, let them know.
Team, we will see you next Wednesday. We love you all. Please stay safe out there. Happy skating. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, we love you. We're here for you.